Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a highlight, contour, and baking video using all drugstore makeup. I already have a highlighting and contouring video with drugstore makeup on my channel that I filmed a while back, like really long time ago, but a lot has changed since then. In that video I used a darker foundation stick. I think it was the Fit Me from Maybelline. I used that to contour, but now I don't do that at all. So this is pretty much just an updated video, and this is more of a subtle highlight and contour. So this is perfect if you have that extra time before going to school or work or just anything that you want to do during daytime. And I definitely prefer powders over creams or concealers when I contour. If I use a concealer or a foundation to contour, on me it just drops down and it blends in with my own foundation. It just doesn't look right or blended. So pretty much for me, cream contours are just messier and powders are so much easier and more natural looking. So if you guys want to see how I highlight and contour and all that with drugstore makeup, then keep on watching. Alright, first things first, I'm going to start with a primer. This is a really important step that you do not want to skip if you want your foundation to last longer. I get so many emails and comments from people asking how to make their foundation stay on longer, and I asked them what primer they use, and most of them say that they don't use a primer at all. They just use their foundation, which is fine for some people. It just depends on your skin and how it absorbs products. You can just play around and see what works best on your skin. But in my opinion, no matter what skin type you are, always use a primer. Now, I'm not saying that once you apply your primer, every foundation is going to go on smoothly and look perfect. The foundation definitely plays a big role. Today I have my top 3 favorite drugstore foundations that are full coverage. The first one is the L'Oreal Infallible foundation, which I'm almost out of. I need to pick up another one. The next one is a oldie but a goodie. This is the Revlon Color Stay. And the next one is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. Alright, but before I start talking more about the foundation, I'm going to start with my primer. Today I'm using my Maybelline's Master Prime Primer. I'm going to be applying this all over my face, and over that I'm going to use another primer from Wet n Wild. I'm going to be applying this on my T-zone just because this one reminds me a lot of Benefit's Professional. So this will help fill in my pores. And I'm going to clip my bangs away from my face because they're really annoying. This is my second day hair and I didn't feel like doing anything to it, so I just braided it. Alright, so I'm gonna be blending this with my fingers. Alright, next I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild primer and apply that on my T-zone and pretty much on my pores. Alright, now for the foundation, today I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Infallible foundation in the shade 103. And I'm going to be applying that with my sponge from Real Techniques. My favorite way of applying a foundation is with a sponge, but if I were to use a brush, it would be a stippling brush. Something like this. This is from Morphe. This is the M436. I like that this is smaller because you can get under your eyes with this and on the sides of your nose. But today I'm going to be using my sponge. And this foundation is in the shade 103, which is Natural Buff. Alright, for the concealers, I'm going to be using 2. One is going to be to cover up any dark circles, and the other one is going to be to make it brighter. So I'm going to use my Allegro Cosmetics to cover up any dark circles. And this is in the shade Natural, but this is not my shade. I use Creamy Beige, but I just can't find that. So for now, I'll use this one. Alright, and to blend this concealer, I'm going to use that same sponge from Real Techniques. So you can literally do your entire face routine with just a sponge. Alright, you can stop right here if you want to, but I want my under eyes to look a little bit more brighter. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. Before, when I used to highlight my face, I would apply some highlighter on my forehead too because that seemed to be the right thing to do and everybody was doing it. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, normally people highlight the parts that they want to stand out, and I already have a 5 head and I definitely don't want that to stand out and become a 10 head. So no thank you, I'm skipping that part and I'll just contour it to make it look a little bit smaller. Alright, now to set my concealer, I have 3 different products. The first one is my Stay Matte Powder from Rimmel. This is in the shade Transparent. And the next one is from Wet n Wild. I would be using the lighter part right here. And the other one is from Pixi. This is a little bit more on the pricey side. This is just a translucent powder. So if it's something like this, where it's a loose powder, I would apply it with my sponge. But today I'm gonna be using the Wet n Wild one right here. So I'm going to be using a brush to apply that. My favorite brush to use when I'm setting my concealer is this one from Morphe. This is the M510 brush. So I'm going to take some of this right here and start setting the concealer. So I'm pretty much just applying this wherever I applied my concealer. And then for the rest of my face, where I just have foundation, I'm going to use a different powder. And for the rest of my face, I'm going to be using this powder from L'Oreal. This is a loose powder. This is the Perfecting Loose Powder in the shade 918, which is medium. And to apply that, I'm going to be using my big powder brush from Sigma. This is the F30 brush. Alright, now I'm going to move on to contouring. I'm going to use the other side of the Wet n Wild palette, and I'm going to use the darker side. Nope, not that one. I'm going to use the darker side right here. This is a nice matte bronzer, and to apply that, I'm going to be using my angled brush from Sigma. This is the F40 brush. And as you can see, I'm blending this bronzer upward instead of downwards, because if I was to blend it downwards, it would just drag down and blend in with my foundation right here, and it just wouldn't look right. So I'm just going to be blending upwards like this. And I'm going to apply some on my forehead. And some under my lip to make it look more fuller. Alright, now for the nose, I like taking a small angled brush, and I'm just going to draw 2 lines and start blending. Alright, so this is the brush I like using for my nose. This is the E70 brush from Sigma, and even though it's pretty thin, I still squeeze it when I draw the lines. I'm not going to do anything crazy, it's just whatever. Okay, now for the blush, I'm going to use this one from e.l.f. This is the Fuchsia Fusion, I believe. And I'm going to be applying this with that same angled brush. Alright, I'm pretty much done with my highlight and contour. I just need to fill in my eyebrows, put some mascara on, and lipstick. But before I do that, I'm going to go back to my Wet n Wild palette, and I'm going to take that M510 brush from Morphe, and I'm going to take some of that lighter powder and apply it right here. Alright, so what we're doing now is just baking. I hate that word. And I'm able to get a lot of product out because I'm just pushing the brush in like this. You can apply this under your eyes too if you want to, but I don't think I need to. So I'm just gonna apply it right here, that way we can get a nice contour. My eyelashes are so clumpy right now. Alright, now I'm gonna take my big powder and wipe all this off. And as you guys can see, there's like a nice contour line. Today I'm going to be using my e.l.f. highlighter. I've talked about this in one of my videos before. I love this highlighter for the price. I think it was $2 or $3. It's really nice. I'll show you guys right now. So this is what it looks like. And to apply this, I'm using my M501 brush. I'm gonna take this brush from Morphe. This is the M149 brush. I'm gonna apply some on my brow bone as well. Alright, the last thing I'm gonna do is go back to my contour palette from Wet n Wild and take that bronzer and apply it on my crease because I forgot to do that step. I'm gonna highlight right here. Alright, this is it for my highlight and contour video using Drugstore makeup. If you guys found this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will list everything that I used in the description box as well as the brushes that I used, so be sure to check that out. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.